Welcome, Miami-Dade County. We are here for another Strive305 podcast. My co-host, Irvans Augustin. I'm Tico Casamayor. Our guest today, Yozi de Armas and Ozzie Herrera. I'm going to talk a little bit first because once these guys get started, they do not shut up. Trust me. I mean, you thought Irvans was bad? Wait to hear this guy. But anyways, okay, so today let me make some announcements. I want to make some announcements because we got some good stuff coming up this week before our next podcast. So July 25th, we have a business network in Miami Lakes, Dr. Limon, the restaurant.
Okay.
We got a good 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Get there. There's going to be gifts, raffles. So come and join us there. And on July 1st is the next Mega TV 92.3 Zeta, radio activation.
Where are we going this time?
This is Velu Laser, 11 a.m., Velu Laser, Tuesday, July 1st. That's going to be a party. If you want to see somebody party, the way people put together a party, the Velu Laser girls are next level. They know them well, actually. So that'll be a fun time. Make sure
you guys go. You guys get laser?
Yeah, no, I haven't gone there. I've gone there to visit, but I still haven't gotten laser. But they're a part of my BNI group in Hialeah, and they market themselves very well. They're doing an amazing job. Yeah, they're very good.
One of the owners is an ambassador.
We're trying to get Tico to go get laser, but
yeah, I think he's been there a couple of times. I don't know if he's doing Botox or laser.
Irvans, you've known me so long already, and you don't realize that, yes, from the waist up, I'm laser. From the waist down, I'm still a man, but from the waist up, I'm completly laser.
Look
at me, man.
You're like a
so much information, huh?
Yes, I want to be like, you're like that naturally. I got to work at it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the girls, one of the girls, the owners, is an ambassador with Strive305. Ozzie as well as an ambassador with Strive305. So that's why we have him here today, because not only is he an ambassador, he's a small business and he's a resource for Miami-Dade County. So you're going to get to hear all about him and everything he does.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a great, it's going to be a great interview. I'm like very excited for today. Last thing I'll say is our district. The district he's in is District 12, JC Bermudez. So shout out to our commissioner,
District
JC
12.
Bermudez, District 12.
Have we hit all the districts yet? I think we're getting close.
We're getting there. I'll do a count for the next time.
Yeah.
See who we're missing. We might even have one of our commissioners coming up very soon, actually, as a guest. So
that'd be interesting. No, we already had Commissioner Higgins on.
We might have another one. We'll make that a surprise visit. Look at that. Grant Miller is over here, everybody, trying to distract me, but it will not happen because he will not distract me, even though he's my twin brother. All right, now let's get off to the important stuff, that why everybody comes here, and that's for our Miami Minute by Irvans Augustin. He's the one that made this podcast famous. Go ahead, hit it. Oh, I got to tell you guys something later about XM Radio too. I forgot that, but go ahead, Irvans. You go. Kick off your Miami Minute.
All right, but you don't want to do the XM. You want to do we'll do that at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Miami Minute. Bite-sized insights, history, and random Miami facts for your day. We all know that Miami was founded in 1896, but what about the other cities that have helped make up our diverse community? Let's take a quick mini tour of some of the lesser-known origin stories around Miami-Dade County. Let's start with Hialeah, founded in 1925, founded by the aviation icon Glenn Curtis and cattleman James Bright. This pretty prairie, which is what it's named after, got its name from that Seminole world. Once it was home to the iconic park, I can't talk today, Hialeah Park Racetrack, and it hosted legends like Winston Churchill and JFK. Next up is Miami Lakes. A master plan community by the Graham family, complete with winding lakes and oak-lined streets. It was designed to balance suburban life with nature. And I wish it did more cities like that in Miami, to say, but it's really beautiful there. And yes, the cows always come first. And next up is Opelika. Also dreamed up by Glenn Curtis, this city is straight out of the Arabian Nights, with the streets named Alibaba Avenue and many other Arabian-named streets. It has the largest collection of Moorish revival architecture in the Western Hemisphere, and it's basically a Florida fantasy city, how it started. He wanted to make it a fantasy city. Next up, we have Doral. In the 1950s, developers Doris and Alfred Casco purchased 2,400 acres of swampland west of Miami to build a luxury golf course. They combined their names, and they called it Doral. It was incorporated in 2000, and these days it thrives as Miami-Dade's youngest city and is known as Dorazuela, thanks to its large Venezuelan community and booming business scene. Next up, we have Sweetwater, a troupe of little people on the World Circus tour from Russia. They called themselves the Royal Russian Midgets and retired here to South Florida and incorporated the city that we now know as Sweetwater. It earned its nickname, the Midget City, in the 1930s. And now it's a vibrant hub of Central American culture in the U.S. And that's your Miami Minute. From fantasy architecture to circus roots, these cities prove that Miami-Dade story is anything but ordinary. We love hearing your thoughts of it. And if you have a city we want us to focus on or any history you want to talk about, just let us know. Until next time, stay cool, stay curious, and we'll see you next time. That's your Miami Minute.
Okay, you got me on one there. I didn't know anything about the Opalaka. No, the Opalaka one and the whole Alibaba and the whole thing it being about a...
I didn't know about
Arabian.
Sweetwater with the midget city. Like,
but definitely you got me encouraged. I didn't know he did Miami Lakes and he also did Opalaka.
Glenn Curtis was all over the place.
Nice.
Yeah, Opalaka has all those Alibaba names.
One of these days, I'm going to listen to one of your Miami Minutes. I'm going to say, I knew all of that already because you get me every time. All right, that was awesome.
That is awesome.
Now we'll kick it off with Ozzie. And but before you get into your questions, I want him to talk about the Adult Daycare Associations. They do work all around the county. He's the social media director for them. And I want to hear about that, talk about that, and share, and what kind of a resource that also is for other adult daycares. And then we should put them on the website if they're not already. Well, go ahead. Tell us about that.
I mean, the association is done a lot of things for the community. One of the things that they do is stick together and help other adult daycares grow, and has a lot of insights and helping the community, as well as helped, obviously the distancing of adult daycare. We passed that with Rene Garcia. It was a great thing. It's 1,000 feet from each other because a lot of adult daycares were starting to build inside the same shopping center. So that would bring a problem, as well as transportation. They would drop them off at different adult daycares, and the traffic that it would bring to the adult daycares as well. Also, now we have to pay our employees at $15 an hour that we didn't have to before. So we had a lobbyist. That's actually thank you to Manny Sid and David Caserta. We got a lobbyist in Tallahassee, is David Caserta, and we passed and we got an increase on our daily rates. So that's what helped us. Obviously not all of them have done it, but majority of them are paying a little bit more. The MCOs are paying us a little bit more, at least to compensate of the $15 an hour that we're paying the employees as well. We stick together. We do a gala once a year. Any advice or anything, I'm part of the board. I'm the social media director, like Tico said, and everybody on the board really wants the best for the adult daycare industry. Adult daycare industry, we're already like over 200 and something adult daycares in the whole county, and obviously we keep on helping seniors live happier, better, and longer, like at social center. But having your parents in an adult daycare, I think you mentioned that you're one of your family members. I think it was father.
Yeah, my father.
Your father was in an adult daycare, and your studies say that anybody that goes to an adult daycare will live 10 more years of their life. Because they're socializing, they're being active, they have a routine. So that's a big part of what we do in the association. We try to keep more people and educate more people to do the right thing for the association and do the right thing for adult daycares. And obviously, small settings like ours, we dedicate ourselves more to 90% of Alzheimer's. So we're helping a lot of people, the falling, the escaping, and turning on the stove and burning the house. So we're keeping them in an adult daycare setting. So the association, is very big on that. And, obviously we need more people to be a part of the association because together we are stronger. And we're doing great things. We're helping families, we're helping seniors, we're giving them a better quality of life. And that's what we do.
That's the important part.
That's what we do in the association. And we want to keep on growing the association. We just don't see like a lot of people want to be a part of the association because they don't think that we've done a lot. They think it's just, you meet
How
up.
do people sign up? Like,
to the association, they have to go through to the website, or, they could call me as well at 786-426-1096, or they could go on our website, FIDSA, FloridaAssociation.org as well, and find us. We also have a social media page as well. There's FIDSA also _ADC that they can find us by there. We keep on trying to grow. Everything is funding, everything has to do with funding, because to have a lobbyist, to have all those things we do, we need more people to join the association. We also, every time there's a problem with the MCOs or there's a problem with the brokers, we always fight and say, don't sign the contract, wait till we all get together, because what happens is a lot of new owners come in and they don't know, and an MCO comes and says, oh, here's a contract for $45.
Yeah.
And then you're really supposed to be getting, let's paid $60 or $70 per day, and then you sign a contract for $45.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like hurting everybody else because you're lowballing yourself.
Yeah.
So that
So you help inform like.
So we help them form. We consult them, and we tell them, they call us all the time. So we give pretty much free consulting.
Yeah.
We give them, different advice and different consultants or different billing companies, transportation companies, or anything. So we kind of like a source.
So you cover the entire gamut of what's required for.
Yeah, all of Florida. We carry. Yeah, we get people calls from Jacksonville. We get calls from Orlando, from everywhere that ask us, we really want to open up an adult daycare. We don't know how to get started. Yeah. So we advise them and tell them and educate them. Because a lot of people think opening up an adult daycare, it's easy. We make it look easy, but it's not that easy. We deal with very simple.
No, they're not all the same. And like you mentioned, like when we were looking for a place for my father at the time, it was difficult. And you go and you check out the different places and you can really tell. You just look at the people. You look at the residents who are there, and you can just look at their faces. You could tell if they're happy or not, how they're being treated, and if they're actually being taken care of. And so it does make difference to families.
Yeah.
I know it made a difference to my family.
No, of course. And you'll go to different, not to bash any other adult daycare, but pretty much the people on the board really care about the business and the industry. There's a lot of people out there that really don't care. They just care about the money.
Yeah.
And they just have them there like a storage. But pretty much everybody on the board, I could vouch for them. We're all good people. We want the best for us. We got into the business to help people. And what the best thing about the association is that we send each other leads. So like if I can't pick up somebody, because I pick up from the route all the way to Pembroke Pines, if it's out of my area, we feed each other and they call me and then they say, listen, I'm getting a participant and, can you provide the service for them because I don't pick them up. So we're helping each other so we're not like enemies. I mean, we all compete, at the end of the day, but I don't go out of my logistics.
Yeah.
So, the president, from the treasurer, from the other presidents before, we all talk, we communicate, and we help each other. Anything comes out or any letters sent out, we call each other and we try to advocate and teach other daycares not to make mistakes because people just sign anything and then it hurts the whole industry as well. So we're doing great things. The association does well. So if you do own an adult daycare out there, I think you guys should be a part of our association because it keeps on growing and we want the best. We don't want, because people open up an adult daycare across from another adult daycare and it causes a problem. So we try to avoid that and educate people to not to make the same mistake because we all learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
So I get calls all the time and I tell people, listen, I made this mistake. Don't make the same mistake I made.
Yeah.
So I'm probably one of the only ones that people call and are, in the association that always give good advice, but everybody on the board in general is good.
No, so that's definitely a great resource to have on the Strive305 website.
I was just going to say the same thing. If you all want to get a hold of him, I'm going to make sure he's on the Strive305 as a resource. Yeah. We'll put the association, but we'll put his contact because as you saw, I told you guys you're going to love him. He will be the person. He'll be the point of contact because he's the best one to reach out for these type of things.
That is great.
So we'll make sure after this. If it's not already there, it should. It could.
I'm here to help. God put me here for the purpose, and I'm here to help people all the time. And even people that don't come to my daycare, I'm kind of like the social service, senior service provider, as we say. And BNI, that's what I play. I play a senior service provider. So anything that seniors need, they always call me. Yeah. Meals, housing. I also do senior placement. So if I can help them, I'll outsource to somebody, and I like to help.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Like, we'll switch hats now. The center that you run, you own that one, or you run that one?
I'm the owner and administrator of Social Center Adult Daycare. I started that center because of my grandmother. So I have a passion to help seniors. I've been in business for 10 years. We've been open for 10 years. 10 years.
And that's what I was curious about. That's what got you into it? Your grandmother got you into it?
Yeah, so the reason why I got in, I was in another industry. I was in the nightclub industry, and I was already a little bit tired.
That's a little bit of a shift.
Yeah, it is. Everybody always asks me. Manny had asked me the same thing.
It does.
So I made a transition in my life, so I was educated, pretty much.
The daycare center is like a nightclub at 3 a.m. when everyone should be going home, and you're just sitting there.
You're just sitting there. So I made it. I make it fun. I make it, they're socializing, they're being active. And I changed kind of the industry of the adult daycare industry because I brought a lot of different activities, a lot of different components. I also changed the dynamics of how to market yourself out there because I come from the marketing world. I went after the caregivers. not only the seniors, is because who's on social media, the caregivers. So I went after the caregivers that we're looking for, because when you're looking for a center, or Tico looking for a center for his grandparents, you're going to go on social media and you're going to see all the great things that we do. And that's how I grew my
So you
business.
shifted to marketing and advertising.
Marketing and advertising is what I used to do.
That's where you do the marketing.
And he's the one that's behind the cameras. He's the one that makes it happen. It's been a blessing. We provide so many services in our daycare. We provide transportation, breakfast, lunch, and snacks. And we provide something different that is more assistant than not supervision. Assisting is assisting to the bathroom, assisting with medication, assisting with feeding. All that assistance is what seniors need. We're 90% Alzheimer in our center. So we provide more of a one-to-one care than just a big setting of 200, 100 and something participants. We're capacity of 35.
Yeah.
So I run it like a school. It's a schedule. They come in, they have breakfast, they go on activity, they go to lunch, they have another activity, they go into snacks, they have another activity, take them to the bathroom, and then they go home. We have 2 buses. We transport them. We have wheelchair lift from all the way from the route all the way to Pembroke Pines. We pick up.
Wow, that's a big range. That's awesome. Yeah. And then like shifting from nightclubs to daycares, what were some of the challenges you faced of like stepping into that business?
So challenges, obviously, the funding it's a lot of money. Also losing all the money that I walked away from, a lot of money, doing these big concerts and big pool parties and stuff like that. I was making a lot of money. But I think the transition of going from the nightclub scene to an adult daycare has been a big transition, and it's to help people. And one of the biggest challenges that we faced is obviously the pandemic. The pandemic was a big challenge for us. We were closed for 7 months, but I also changed it. The time we were going through a pandemic, I was taking meals to their house one by one to all my participants.
Wow, personally?
Personally, myself, that a lot of senior daycares didn't do. Also, I have my employees doing home care hours, companion at home. So I was still connecting with my participants. And through that time, I was doing videos and filming while I was delivering the meals. So people liked that and started following me on social media. And I went a little viral on that because people were seeing that even though we were going through a pandemic and everybody was down, depressed, anxiety, I was still doing something good and doing something for myself as well to help my participants, keep them to come back to the center.
Yeah.
When we came back from, thank God that we were
Since
reopened.
they couldn't come there, you were going to them.
I was going to them because we were the more vulnerable ones of the senior population.
Yeah.
So, the county mayor at that time didn't want to bring them back in, so they were scared. DeSanti opens up back in. So we were thinking that we're going to get more participants back into our center, and we only got 6 compared to almost 40 participants. So we pretty much started from zero again. So it was hard for me. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, because I didn't know what I was going to do with my center. A beautiful center with everything in there. Now what am I going to do if I don't open the center? So that's where I opened up my senior placement company. It's called Avance Senior Placement, where now we help seniors place them in ALFs and great quality ALFs. So people trust me because
multiple different ones.
Multiple different from Monroe County all the way to West Palm. I place people in ALS. So when they can't be with me anymore, the family says, listen, I can't have grandma or grandpa in the center no more. I'm looking for an ALS.
That's a great service. I wish my family at the time had that, because we had to go ourselves.
So you don't know. So it's like the same thing. You're going to different ALF that you don't see the same.
My sister visited almost 15, 20 different ones.
So I'll give you 3. And 3, one of them you're going to pick because it's quality, and I know the owners, and we work directly with each other. So people call me different things all the time. I'm like the senior service provider for everybody.
You have to list this on Strive305 too.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot. So now people don't call me for the club. Now they call me for, I need to get my grandmother, and I need to put her on the waiting list. Before I need to be on the VIP list to get in. Now I want to be on the waiting list to get my grandmother, my parents into adult daycare.
I believe your wife was probably the happiest person when that transition happened, right?
She was happy. I mean, we've been married 18 years, and it was a challenge already. That was another thing. In the nightclub scene, you're not dealing with doctors and lawyers. You're dealing with a lot of.
Well, you are. You just don't know they are.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them they are, but when they're not in that scenario, they're not doctors. You have a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, prostitution, a lot of stuff. It was a great business. Not to get me wrong, I did it because I loved what I do. I love to see people happy. I love to cater to people and see them have a good time. So that's why I feel good when I see my participants happy, families happy, and all that stuff. But different challenges. I mean, one of the hardest things in our industry is transportation. Transportation is very hard because you have traffic of Miami, A lot of people don't know how to drive. You know, everybody has a different time. Every senior has like an HHA, that's the home health agency that's there, that they got to leave because they have another case, or the family members need to go home, need to go to work. And you know, everything is tough because there's traffic. You can't get
You can't be everywhere.
everywhere.
Too,
so
like
you're talking about, I do 2 routes in the morning with 2 different buses, picking up from Pembroke Pines to Doral. It makes it a little bit difficult, but it's the hardest challenge that I face is the logistics. And we're able to do it right because I have great employees. Having staff and having the right employees is everything. I'm not a boss, I'm a leader. I lead by example. You know, when I played baseball, I always wanted to be a leader, and I always wanted to show by example, and that's the way I was raised. So I tell my employees, I do everything. I take participants to the bathroom. I've driven the bus. I've fed participants. I served the meals. You know, Yosi's been there. Yosi sees everything that we got going on in there, and we're doing amazing things, and we're helping seniors. And I want to keep on growing. I want to expand myself and help more people in the county if I can help. Like I told Manny and I told Tico all the time, I'm here to help. God put me here for a purpose, and I want to help.
That's amazing. And what is one of the things you wish people knew about your industry that they on the outside, on the family side, what is something you wish they knew?
I think guidance. I educate people a lot, that a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of services out there that there is for seniors.
Mm-hmm.
We run through the Medicaid waiver. They have to have a diagnosis. They have to call Alliance for Aging. A lot of people don't know when they get to that step, like my mom is starting with dementia, or my dad's starting, you know, he's repeating things over. He's starting with Alzheimer or a mood disorder, bipolar. Now what do I do? So I always advise people, and I always tell them, don't wait to that. Don't wait to that last minute. You know, I think somebody, when they retire, I think somebody really needs to, if they're not going to work anymore, because what happens with Alzheimer and dementia is that when people work all their life and they're workaholics and they stop working, the mind stops working. So you need to be active. Or somebody that's a workaholic and worked all their and they're burnt out, you know, you need to keep them active as well. So you need a center. You need to just be socializing all the time, having activity and stuff like that. So educate people into getting them into an adult daycare, teaching them the right way to do things, as how's the process work to get them with Alliance for Aging. Alliance for Aging is it's a Medicaid waiver, and that covers already adult daycare. It pays for the adult daycare. It pays for transportation, pays for meals, any supplies they need. Let's say that they're not going to be in an adult daycare. It also covers the ALF. So it covers up to $2,000 a month in services that people don't know. I mean, some will get approved for 3 days, some get approved for 5 days of daycare, depending on the diagnosis. So I'm the guy that people call as well, and I'll guide you and I'll educate you on the process.
People can call you for that too?
On how,
like
yeah,
beforehand?
I guide people for that as well. I have case managers and social workers that I work directly with.
Irvan's is going,
Where have you
how
been?
were you?
Where were you?
No, I know. It is the hard way.
We needed
Like,
Strive305 back then for you too.
Yes. So I help a lot of people out there, and I do it out of passion, out of love. Honestly, with nothing, I get calls all the time. Even people that need. The other day, somebody called me for catering for his grandfather and his grandmother, and I was like, catering, I got the guy. And I send them a couple of catering companies that we work with and stuff like that. And I spoke to a couple of case managers, and they said, oh, these are the catering companies that I like. And I have a couple, and I guided him through that direction. People that want to open up an adult daycare, me and Yosi always talk about, is probably, or franchising social center adult daycare, or probably making like an educational, clips, and making like educational classes to educate people how to get into an adult daycare, because people get in and they don't know anything about the adult daycares. And they get in it for the wrong reasons, or they think it's going to be easy money. We make it look easy, but it's not that easy.
It's not.
Like any business. You're dealing with very sick people. If you don't like working with seniors, don't get into adult daycares. It's like working with kids. They become kids again.
Yeah.
That's another challenge that you mentioned about challenges. They become kids again. You're going back to wearing Pampers. You're going back to getting be fed. You're getting back to assisting you with medication, taking you to the bathroom, having your accidents and stuff like that. So those are challenges too, that the people that work in an adult daycare have to know and have the patience and have be calm, because there's a lot of things that goes on. So my employees are CNA, HHA certified, and they have experience, because you can have situations that, they want to go to work, They want to leave. Their kids are waiting for them at work, at their house, and they go through a lot of different things because remember, the Alzheimer's, they have the long-term memory and not the short-term memory. So a lot of these people are in Cuba and Colombia because we have a little bit of a fusion going on in Social Center. We have Mexicans, Colombians, Puerto Ricans, Venezuelans, Cuban, everything. We have a little bit of everything, and they're going back to like, they probably don't even know their kid's name or their names, but they know the songs. So we focus more also on Social Center is musical therapy. Musical therapy is very key. So any of your parents is out there and dealing with dementia and Alzheimer, try to put a lot of music and do musical therapy, a lot of crossword puzzles, a lot of activities that helps the mind, playing dominoes, bingo. Those different activities is really good from arts and craft. We do that as well. So we create a lot of different activities, Tai Chi, Zumba, all that stuff helps the people with Alzheimer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
See what I told you about this guy and his passion?
No.
I have a passion that I do.
So now I'm going to cut him off because if not, he'll keep going all day long.
Yeah.
But there is another passion that he has. And, you know, everybody comes to me and tells me, Tico, how can you help me with this? Tico, how could I promote this? How could I do this? And another thing where Yozi comes in is the marketing. And the marketing, and he's going to tell you a little bit about it, probably in Spanish, but I don't care because it's worth listening to and having translated if you have to on Google Translate. And I'm teaming up with them now. So I'm taking advantage of this in this meeting because it's giving me a resource for my clients, which I always end up turning down or recommending they go somewhere else. But watch, he's going to, marketing.
So let me give a little testimonial of how this went upon. So before I used to do my own social media, and I used to have a VA, virtual assistant. But when I met Yozi, it's been a change for my life, a blessing. He's given me a peace of mind because it's a lot of work doing social media management, content, and we created so many things. And Yozi has been a blessing. And he's a guy that like not just creating content, you know, the AI that now we're employing now in our social media. I have a podcast. He's behind the podcast. We created a podcast that is different because it's bringing different business owners, you know, into the business and helping them grow. Where do you host
it? Where do you host your podcast?
Inside my daycare. Inside the daycare is called Hablando y Jugando, Healthy Insights. So we're playing dominoes while we're doing the podcast.
Hey,
so
that sounds fun though.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's
sounds
fun.
like an invitation for you.
It is an invitation. No, you guys are invited. Actually, I want to thank you guys for inviting me here. But you guys are invited on my podcast. Every month we focus on something. Last month we focused on mental health awareness. This month we're focusing on men's mental health awareness. It's not just a month, it's a whole year. Yeah. But Yozi is the guy behind everything. He's got great ideas. He's working with big medical centers, big dental practice. He's working with PPECs, adult daycares, creating great content and creating great things. So I'm going to let him talk. Yozi, habla un poquito de lo que tú haces.
Sí, hay un punto bien importante que Ozzie lo mencionó y es los caregivers. Cuando yo conocí a Ozzie, él me dice, sé que tienes talento, sé que vienes trabajando con grandes grupos de personas y medical centers, pero nosotros tenemos que enfocarnos en los cuidadores de ellos. Entonces, la realidad es una cosa, y es que cada día la atención está más en las plataformas digitales, Facebook, Instagram. Cada día los consumidores pasan más tiempo ahí. Entonces, nuestro primer desafío fue ese, llegar a los cuidadores y a ellos mismos, porque en el proceso nos dimos cuenta que ellos cada día consumen y saben usar más el celular que nosotros, los abuelitos. Entonces, básicamente lo que hacemos es eso. Creamos la atención con nuestros videos, con nuestro contenido. Luego, con nuestras herramientas, pues, generamos interacción, que es una cosa muy diferente. Creamos esa afinidad con el centro. Interactuamos con el posible consumidor. Y ahí es donde entra el AI, ahí es donde entran, pues, el equipo de ventas. Y después, eso lo convertimos en una venta, valga la redundancia, con nuestro equipo de ventas. Es un proceso bastante grande, pero que hemos tenido muchísimo éxito. Cada día estamos llegando a más personas. Y la realidad es que, por ejemplo, en la industria hay muchas agencias que se encargan de generarte la atención, pero nosotros nos enfocamos en la conversión, que es algo muy diferente. Entonces, cada día estamos ayudando a muchos seniors, cada día estamos ayudando a más medical centers y Ozzie ha sido un pilar muy importante en mi evolución, en mi crecimiento y por supuesto Tico, con su ayuda y con todos sus clientes, pues estamos creando una alianza y cada día ayudar a la más gente. Esa es la meta.
Sí, es verdad lo que dice Yosi, hablando de las personas mayores, que hay muchas personas que están afuera buscando adult daycares. So seniors are also on social media too. So we have fans. I swear to God, we have fans that come and tell us, we're a fan of you guys. I follow you. I had a participant the other day. It was funny. We did a little content that the lady said that she was dying to meet a mangon. And mangon is me, that I'm the hot guy in the center. She was dying to meet the hot guy, the hot mango. And mangon, they say it in Spanish. And mangon, that comes out in the videos. So she came to
Mangon is like a handsome man.
Like a handsome man. Yeah. And she wanted to come and meet me. So being good looking like us, Tico, right? Like us, you know, it also attracts, you know, the older women too. And I like older women, you know, but it also brings a lot of these seniors that want to meet me, and they see that I have a passion and they see the content and what we're creating. So even seniors are on social media, not only caregivers, now seniors are on Facebook. So we go after that crowd. But like I said, Yosi's creating great things and helping a lot of businesses and doing a lot of great things behind the scenes, you know, with my podcast and everything we're doing. I mean, I recommend him with my eyes closed, and we're going to do something great.
Translation to what he says. Marketing, spectacular. Digital media, very important. Now a huge demographic, not just the young kids anymore. The demographic is now wide. My in-laws are constantly watching my stuff, liking my stuff, and sending comments. So yes, the demographic is huge. So what is needed? People that can create that content. The hardest thing we have a digital marketing company, right? My son and I. The hardest thing we deal with is social media content. That's why this guy is a blessing to me. That's why we're now teaming up, because digital media content, and then we're taking it beyond the adult daycare. We're taking it beyond the, you know, the medical practice. We're going to take it all the way across. So we're going to add ourselves as a resource to the Strive305. But besides content creation, he has AI technology that will convert that into clients, into hits, into leads, to whatever you want. Through AI, which much cheaper than going to a giant agency that will, you know, cost you a crazy amount monthly plus setup and all that. So that technology is next level, and that's what we're going to team up on, and that's why I'm getting something out of all this stuff I've been doing. I find these two guys. All right, we're out of time, so I got to finish up. Sorry. I know you wanted to do a little something.
No. So the last thing you were going to mention is about Slam.
Yeah. Those are the things. Okay, so Slam, we have a meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow, finally?
Tomorrow's the meeting. We're going to do a tour through the Slam radio, and that's Pitbull's school. And I didn't even realize
we're going to be on XM radio, apparently.
Yes, we're going to get put on XM radio. So these will now be live on XM radio, along with the C News. You know, our friend...
they're going to be on there?
Community
awesome.
News. We're still on. We're going to be feeding them both. We're just going to grow and grow and grow. And then our big thank yous, of course, goes to the never mentioned Manny Sid, who got mentioned a couple of times. He told us not to mention his name because he doesn't want the accolades.
We have to mention him.
No, we don't. We just say the guy that we don't mention.
The guy that we don't mention.
Manny Sid.
That's my boy.
Anthony Bonami still gets mentioned, I think, until July, right? Because he's going to bigger, greater things, which we'll announce once he kicks that off.
Mid-July sometime, he ascends.
He ascends. He'll still be a resource to us, but he'll be his own man. So I'm really excited to announce that. Maybe we can have him as a guest.
No, most definitely,
because
it'll be exciting to find out what he's doing now.
And then who's the person responsible for all this? Why did this initiative ever even happen?
I'm going to go with the mayor.
Mayor Levine Cava, yes.
Lucky guess.
So thanks to her. And thanks to everybody for listening. Thank you to our guests.
No, thank you guys.
I told you guys you would love this.
Thank you guys
and thank you for the work you do. It really didn't, for me as a family, and also more specifically for my father, him being there really did change his quality of life for the time that he had left at Unplanned. And when we found the adult daycare for him, it really made a difference to us as a family.
No, it gives you a peace of mind that you know that he's in a place that's taken care of and giving him quality of care, and you guys could, you know, go on your day and know that he's taken care of.
No, it really meant a lot to.
You know, I have a slogan that says "Helping seniors live happier, better, and longer" at Social Center, and it's so true. You know, we're giving them a quality of life, and we're giving a peace of mind to the family. Don't leave your grandparents or your parents at home with strangers.
Yeah.
Don't.
No,
know
it's definitely great. We'll definitely take you up and come play dominoes.
Yeah, for sure. We are. We're going to do that.
We'll see you at Ozzie's place.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. God bless. Have a great day.